and welcome back to Global Game Jam from your global organizers. Last year we produced a video with some hints for first-time game jammers, and a lot of people asked us to do another one specific to board games. Board game development is different in a lot of ways than video game development, so if you're used to making video games, you have to throw a lot of what you know out the window. But it doesn't have to be scary, and most of my advice can be summed up as, play to your strengths. Board games are easier in some ways and harder in others to develop than video games, so knowing the differences in development process should give you a good head start. For example, with video games, you have a mix of programming, art, audio, and design. With board games, there's usually no programming and no sound, and the final art only needs to be created toward the end of the project. So for the most part, there's really only one role for board game development, a designer-tester hybrid. Design of board games in a team is a lot more collaborative than you might be used to if you've worked on video game projects before. The danger here is what we call design by committee, where you either only include what everyone likes and you're left with this game that has no features at all, or you include suggestions from everyone and end up with this game that goes in a whole bunch of different directions at once and has no cohesion at all. Generally, it helps if you go into this with the attitude of being advocates for the player and the play experience, not advocates for your own design ideas. You can also use playtesters outside your group to settle design questions or arguments. Ask someone who isn't invested in the project at all if they think that something's working or not. In fact, setting up a playtest exchange or something like that every few hours with other board game groups at your site, if there are any, is a great way to get really helpful feedback on each other's games. Next tip. Video games are built out of code and assets. Board games can be built out of anything that you have on hand. Take a pencil, write on a piece of paper, and you've got a game board. Tear some more paper into rectangles, and you've got cards. Grab whatever's in your pockets. Cosmetics, coins, pocket lint, whatever. Those are your playing pieces. For most first-run prototypes, you really don't need anything else. So just grab whatever's around you and use it to build. You should really not ever need to spend more than 2 or 3 minutes gathering materials for playtesting. Third hint. With video games, you have to actually program the game, which means in order to get anything playable, you first need to design it completely. With board games, this restriction is removed. You can make up or change rules on the fly as you're testing. You don't actually have to know how the game works in order to start playing. Just start with the general idea and then answer questions as you come to them. Maybe you'll come to some kind of decision point in the middle of a game, and you'll need to define what the player's choices are. But once you're there in the middle of play, you'll be able to see what the interesting choices would be, and design the game accordingly. All of this leads to one simple rule. Start playing the game as fast as you can, and let it grow organically during playtesting. Changing the rules and components of a board game is really fast and cheap, especially compared to a video game. So take advantage of this by spending a little time designing in advance and using as much time for playtesting as possible. There's something about the act of play that's just magical. So when you're playing a game, you know if you're having fun or not. So don't be afraid to keep changing your design or even starting over from scratch again and again. When it only takes you 5 minutes to prototype and start playing, 48 hours seems like a lot of time. So never let your design sit still. Keep playing and keep improving. The last hint I have for you today is when you have a game that is playable and fun and pretty much where you want it to be, spend some time giving the components the same care and craftsmanship that you spent during design and playtesting. This means the art for the game, of course, but even more than that, I mean the rules. The rules really are the game when you think about it. All the components are just a physical manifestation of the rules. So write your rules carefully and clearly so that players anywhere else can download your game and understand how to play. If you can set up a rules exchange with other board game teams off-site to make sure that they can read and understand your rules, even better. In addition to the written rules, a great way to get the idea of your game across is to make a short tutorial video, maybe 2 or 3 minutes long. And we're not talking about something that needs to be professionally produced. You can take out your smartphone and just start filming in low res if you need to. But something where you describe what the game is and how to play. Put the video up online on YouTube and link to it from your games page on globalgamejam.org, the same way that a video game might post a link to a game trailer or teaser video of their gameplay. We highly recommend that you do this. It makes things so much easier to explain and understand, and also gets people really excited about wanting to download and play your game. So there you have it. 5 hints for making a board game project. Good luck, have fun, and go out there and make something awesome.